Hello, it's Miss Bell. This is going to be our last week of readings for our distance learning. This week we're going to be reading about different sports. And so right here we have Summer Olympics events. And this story is going to be in Reading A to Z or Learning A to Z. And again, like last week, they didn't give us all the pages because if you can see here, it goes 6. It starts at 6 right here, and then the next one skips ahead. So we start with water sports is our heading right here. And we can see in the photographs 2 different types of water sports. We have swimming with our caption here that tells us, and then our caption over here says water polo. So let's read about some different water sports. There are many water sports. One water sport is swimming. Let's see what else there is. Now we have more pictures. This one says it's a relay race, breaststroke, backstroke, butterfly stroke, and freestyle. Different kind of swimming. Some swimming races use only one kind of stroke. Other races use many strokes. And we notice right here, the word stroke is bold. So that means it's going to be one of the words, one of the new words. We might not have heard that before. The stroke, we can see there's different ones, breaststroke, backstroke, butterfly stroke, and freestyle stroke. So these are all the different strokes. The strokes must be the ways to swim, right? We can use what we see in the pictures and our captions to understand what a stroke is. Other races use many strokes. Now let's see what we have on this side. Diving. We got 2 pictures of that here. Divers twist and flip before hitting the water. Another water sport is diving. Divers jump from high above the water. Now diving is bold too, but I think most of us know what that is. And this is a very good picture here of somebody diving. This person is flipping in the middle of his dive, so he'll end up down like that also soon. And that is it for our Summer Olympics. So it's all about swimming and water sports. So that is the first thing that you could write about this week because you're going to be picking one of the sports to write about. So if you want to write about water sports, you're going to come back to this story and use information that you learned from the images, the captions, the heading, and those new bold words, right? Maybe you want to learn, you like the idea of all the different types of swimming, the breaststroke, the backstroke, the butterfly stroke, the freestyle. All right. The next one I'm going to be reading to you is lacrosse. Now this is a little bit different of a sport. Some of you might not have seen this before. It says, let's play lacrosse. Lacrosse is a sport with 2 teams. Players hold long sticks. Each lacrosse stick has a small net on one end. Players use the stick to throw the ball. Players try to get the ball in a goal. Native Americans were the first people to play lacrosse. They played the game hundreds of years ago. The ball was made of animal skin. The stick was made of wood. Only men played lacrosse then. Today, the ball is made of rubber. Balls are usually bright orange or yellow. The stick is made of wood and plastic. Now, anyone can play, so not just men. So a lot has changed from back then when the Native Americans started playing to now. And we have a picture of what that stick looks like, the end of the stick where you catch the ball. Lacrosse, game rules. So now they're going to tell us, this heading tells us we're going to learn about the rules. A lacrosse field is about the same size as a football field. The game has 2 teams. Teams for men have 10 players. Teams for women have 12 players. There is a net or goal at each end of the playing field. A lacrosse stick has a woven cup at the end. Players use the sticks to try and get a ball into the other team's net. Oh, we've got some pictures here. We've even got a diagram, the men's and the women's. We can see an eye mask over here, and the men's have a helmet. The women have a mouth guard to protect their mouth. They both have gloves. They both have the cross stick, and they both have cleats. Those are shoes with little spikes in them to help them grip the ground. So you can see what's a little different is the men have shoulder pads, rib pads, and a helmet. And the women have a mouth guard and an eye mask. And our caption down here says men and women have different rules for lacrosse. They wear different things to help protect them. So we have a diagram of what protects men and women. You could compare those things. We have another photograph down here, and our caption says a goalie keeps the ball from going into the net. Balls can move very fast, so he's got to stop it from getting in the net. When a player gets the ball, he or she runs to get to the net. The player can also pass the ball to another player using the stick. Each team tries to keep the ball. The goalie's job is to keep the ball from going into the net. If the ball goes into the net, it is worth 1 point. At the end of the game, the team with the most points wins. So this would be an interesting sport to write about if you're interested in how the Native Americans played it and how it's played now, and maybe also comparing men's to women's lacrosse. Our next sport that we're going to do is soccer. I think you guys have heard of that before. Soccer. We have a picture and it says soccer is a great game. Soccer is a team sport. 2 teams play. Each team has 11 players. The players try to kick the ball into the other team's goal. If the ball goes into the goal, their team gets a point. Soccer players have different jobs. The goalkeeper's job is to protect the goal. Defenders try to get the ball away from the other team. Forwards try to score goals. Games usually last 90 minutes. Each goal is 1 point. The team with the most points is the winner. We have a new heading right here. What do you need to play soccer? So these are the tools you need for soccer. Do you want to play soccer? You will need the right clothing. You will need cleats. Cleats are sneakers with small tips on the bottom. The tips are made of rubber or plastic. They help you run without slipping. You will need plastic shin guards. Shin guards cover the bottom part of your leg. If you get kicked, they may hit your shin guard instead of your leg. You will need a team shirt. All kids on the same team wear the same shirts. That helps you find your teammate during the game. Grab a ball, you're ready to play. This is a good one because a lot of us have played soccer before at PE, or maybe at home you have a soccer ball. The next one down here goes with our Olympics one that we read at the beginning with the water sports, because we had water polo right there. And this one is teamwork in the water, water polo. Water polo is a hard sport. In water polo, you are in a pool. You can't touch the bottom of the pool. You have to keep swimming the whole game. That sounds tiring. There is one net at each end of the pool. Both teams try to get the ball into the other team's net. Most of the players can only hold the ball with one hand. Only the goalie can use 2 hands. The goalie tries to stop the ball from going into the net. Everyone on a water polo team has to work together. They pass the ball to each other. They shoot it at the net. They score. And there's a picture, one hand trying to toss the ball, right? So you can only do one hand at a time. And our last sport is gymnastics. Look at that. we have lots of photographs. We have men's rings, women's balance beam, men's pommel horse, women's uneven bars. Gymnastics, leap, flip, and twirl. They need strength, skill, and good timing. Only men compete on the rings. They hold onto the rings and flip their bodies in circles. So here's the rings, and it says underneath, a gymnast's arms and shoulders need to be strong to do the rings. Only women compete on the balance beam. They must balance on the beam while they turn and flip. So this one is just women, the balance beam. So this is another one where you can compare what gymnastics is like for men versus women. That looks like lots of fun twisting and flipping around. If you like doing front flips and back flips, gymnastics might be a sport for you to write about. So those are the sports we have. If you want to write about another sport, you're more than welcome to look it up. If you want to write about basketball or anything else, you can do your own research and find some stories about how to play and all the things about it. And use the pages that we have in our packet this week to plan and then write to tell somebody about what you learned about your sports that you chose.